Hey folks, Fernando doing another video for Tomorrow Survivalist. Folks, the British Prime Minister Liz Truss just presented her resignation, and this is what she had to say. Let's listen to her and then analyze some of these events unfolding right now.
Our whole continent and our country has been held back for too long by low economic growth. I was elected by the Conservative Party with a mandate to change this. We delivered on energy bills and on cutting national insurance. And we set out a vision for a low-tax, high-growth economy that would take advantage of the freedoms of Brexit. I recognise, though, given the situation, I cannot deliver the mandate on which I was elected by the Conservative Party. I have therefore spoken to His Majesty the King to notify him that I am resigning as...
So, okay, the freedoms of Brexit are what you're witnessing right now. These are the freedoms of no longer being burdened with being the financial capital of the largest economic market in the planet. This is something that was, it was written in the wall for anyone to see for themselves if you could be bothered with understanding the context. When you're no longer the financial center, right, of the largest economy in the planet, back in the day, that's exactly what it was, then what you're seeing right now. What is it that you're seeing right now? Inflation out of control, worse than pretty much anywhere in the civilized world. Poverty. Guys, I talk about this all the time. This is my bread and butter. This is what I've been doing, most of my life for the last 10 15 years or so. If you haven't read this book, Surviving the Economic Collapse, you want to get yourself Surviving the Economic Collapse, because what you're seeing right now, I've gone through already. I can tell you exactly how this goes. This is why 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I told you this is how it would end. This is how it's ending right now. This is how, not ending, this is how it continues to unfold right now. This is what you're seeing when you have inflation. Why do you think it is? Is it a combination of things? Of course, it usually is. But the moment you're no longer the financial capital of the largest market in the planet, and you're just islands, right, that it hasn't got a massive amount of industry going for it, you're not the United States, you're not China, well, this is what's left. And when you're no longer taking advantage of that privileged position, yeah, this would be a case in which privilege would be the right way to use the word. Yes, when you are the financial capital and you benefit from all of these options in terms of financial and insurance and banking and all of these high profit economic tools at your disposal, this is what you have. People lost their minds over fish, over curvature of bananas, and other idiotic nonsense that you had your heads filled with, and you lost this. What is it I'm talking about? This is what I'm talking about.
This is just past its date. They've changed the branding on this too, so they've reduced that. Cheapest breakfast going is cereal. We've got the fancy pasta here, but this is also reduced, which is why I've got a couple of packets of it.
Fiona works 5 days a week, regularly misses meals, and always buys discounted food.
Whenever I go round supermarkets, I try and pick up whatever the reduced sticker deals are.
Yet having enough money to feed her 2 children still requires hours of planning, preparation, and scavenging.
I don't really think that...
Before I go on with this is the BBC. I don't know if you understand what that means. It says here, right, one of the few things YouTube gets right every once in a while is they're actually letting you know who owns the media outlet you're watching. So the BBC is a British public broadcast service. If there's one thing that Brits and BBC get very well, and they're very well known for this, is trying to present horrible news with a positive light. And they're doing this just here. This is the kind of thing you see in countries like Argentina, where I'm from. This is the kind of thing you see in third world countries, where people struggle to put food on the table. Now, the BBC is presenting this with an air of dignity and somewhat not the disgrace that this really is. But as it says here, food poverty, I miss meals so my children can eat. When the British government is telling you this, you better listen. You better start paying attention, because it's probably a lot worse than this. And I can tell you it is. There's people going through very hard times right now. There's a switch off from it,
which is why I try and avoid supermarkets now. If I go into supermarkets, I definitely go into hunter mode and think about what stickers I can get, what's on offer.
As the cost of living bites, 3 meals a day has become a luxury for millions. To help, Fiona runs a community kitchen at this school in Halifax. Matt Perry is the head teacher.
This is where the magic happens.
Donated food is transformed into free meals.
It's about 300 meals a week.
You get the picture, right? Do you? This is what you're looking at right now. And let me tell you, given that I've gone through this, this is just the beginning. You will see a lot more poverty. When years ago, I told you, I explained to you that the economic changes that you were seeing would end up in this, it's exactly what ended up happening. And let me tell you right now, just like I did several years ago, this is just the beginning. Because all of these changes, from the moment that Brexit first started, from that moment on, and that's perfectly fine. You have the option of living your life however, I mean, you have the freedom of destroying your country as much as you want. I know perfectly well that what that means, because if there's people that excel at destroying insane amount of potential, it's people from my country, people from Argentina. You've been giving the immense chunk of the planet all flat, fertile land for agriculture, for natural resources like you wouldn't believe. It is the joke is that God gave us Argentina, and so as to compensate for that, he filled it with freaking Argentines so as to make it fair. So people that would destroy and ruin and spoil and not take advantage of everything they were giving, that's what you have. It's pretty much what you see right now. Giving up on that golden egg goose that was being the financial center of the European Union is how you end up with people that have to give up food so as to feed their children. This was not the case before. I know because I was living there. So I know perfectly well how it was back in the day. It wasn't that long ago. Now, I'm telling you, this is just the beginning. What is this? What comes along with this? Well, now you see people becoming poor, people struggling to put food on the table. You will see poverty widespread in a number of other areas. You already saw, and I did videos about this, how the NHS it's just letting people die. Let's be honest here. If you have the option of treating or not treating, usually they go with not treating people because there's not enough money. If there's the decision to be made about policing or not, let's better not police because guns are bad, because it's easier to go after people that say nasty things about the LGBT whatever community online. No, because it's more expensive so as to actually train officers to do the right job and keep people safe on the streets. It's a lot easier and cheaper to just screw around and go after people that have done nothing wrong at all, like these non-criminal offenses, which it's ironic in itself. But that's the kind of thing you see more and more. It's gonna be a collapse of the quality of education, the quality of healthcare, the standard of living. This is what you're seeing right now, and this is just getting started. Unfortunately, I have family here, right? I have family living there, and they're telling me the same thing I'm explaining to you guys right now. Now, because of what I do, because of what I know, I can tell you that the projection of this is not good, right? Life goes on, of course it does. Life goes on in some of the more horrible places on the planet, right? People in Venezuela are still going on with 1,000,000% inflation. But you will see a change of the world as you knew it has ended. You're now being introduced to a different world, and this is just the start. Folks, prepare as well as you can. Do all of the things I explain in the channel, in my books. Learn how to defend yourself, get whatever tools are available. You're probably going to be needing that sooner than later. And the more options you have in terms of diversifying your income. And in terms of, yes, like these, videos explain of, penny pinching and getting as much as you can out of each, pound, of course. But man, it is sad to see this. It's sad to see so many people that will have to struggle, will have to go without for quite a while. See you on our next video. Take care.